Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Angie, also known as The Light. Please like this video. I need more views, okay? I'm not too crazy about subscribers, but please subscribe to my channel. Views is what gets me paid. Views is what gets my message out. I'm up here putting some mango body butter. Oh yes, on my channel, every time I have a black business that I can promote, I do. This is called Be Youthful Body Co. I don't know if you can see it. Be Youthful Body Co. So you can look them up on Instagram or their website. Let me tell you, I love this mango whipped body butter. I don't know how the other ones are, but I'm gonna order I think the shea or the cocoa butter ones. When I tell you, it's amazing. I have bad skin, and I don't say bad skin, but I have like eczema, ingrown hair, stuff like that due to my hormone imbalance. And I've been using this little, what is this? How many ounces is this? 4 ounces. I've been using this for over a month now, and I still have. You could just put this much and it'll like lotion your whole hand or arm. Okay, it goes a long way, and I'm obsessed with it. It smells amazing. And you know how sometimes you'll use certain products and they won't last long, but if you're into natural products, definitely check them out. They have shower gels. They gave me a sample of a lip scrub. This is hibiscus rose. Be Youthful Body Co. Okay, they gave me a dope lip scrub, and no, they did not pay me. It smells so good. Oh my gosh, it will have your lips soft as hell. But yeah, anytime I buy from a black business, I try to promote it, because small black businesses, you know, they go through a lot. Okay, but on to the topic today. I turned 38 on last Sunday, August 15th. I'm a Leo, and I was thinking, reflecting on my life. Okay, I'm going through a lot right now, emotionally, spiritually, physically, in all areas of my life. I don't know if it's because it's the 38 year. 8 is karma. So karma doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it could be a bad thing. But for me, I'm noticing for the past 2 or 3 weeks now, I have been getting hit hard in all different areas of my life. This has been a rough year for me, believe it or not. 2020 wasn't a rough year for me, but 2021 has been. And I don't tell all my business on my channel, but I'm going through a lot, and I'm like shutting down emotionally, and you know, not wanting to hang out with certain people or communicate as much as I normally do. So this video, I had just started to reflect on what I went through in my 20s, because sometimes as we're getting older, we do not, how can I say this, we do not give ourselves credit of what we've gone through, things that we have overcame. We beat ourselves up, and this is like, okay, you may not be where you want to be, but you might be exactly where you're supposed to be, you know. And a lot of times we'll compare ourselves to people and stuff like that. Sorry if you see me sweating, it's because I'm literally taking down a whole bottle of wine right now. Sometimes I show what kind of wine I'm drinking. Yeah, I'm almost done. This is a Barefoot peach wine. So good, gets the job done. Okay, we're on to the topic, and this is where this is coming from, because I had to reflect on what I went through in my 20s and what I've overcame, and where I'm at right now. And being that I turned 38, and that's only 2 years from 40. I know I don't look it. I know some of y'all think I look 40, but that's cool. But you know, Leos, we have such young, vibrant spirits, so I tend to attract younger men. I tend to attract younger people, and I can see a lot of people don't know that, but Leos beat themselves up. We beat ourselves up. They think that Leos are very conceited, but the only reason why I think Leos could be conceited, one, we're ruled by the sun, but we also are conceited, I feel, because we are constantly working on ourselves, right? Our inner selves. We beat ourselves up. We try to fix certain things. We're trying to constantly heal. We are very self-aware, okay? Not only are people always noticing Leos, but Leos are very self-aware, okay? So I have been on my healing journey for a long time. I started taking my healing seriously around 28, 29, okay? So basically, like, the past 10 years, I've been taking my healing journey seriously. But I have a couple of things because, I'm like your auntie now, okay? I'm 38, so I'm like your young auntie, your young, single, I ain't rich yet, auntie, that could kind of put you onto things. So this is not to degrade, belittle 20-something-year-olds. It's not that, because there's a lot of 20-something-year-olds out there who are more mature than me, who have healed, they've done the work, they got their house, they got their car, they got their degree, they got their man, they got their woman, they got their kids, they got it going on. I ain't got none of that, okay? So it's not for me to belittle, but I think through time does come experience, and this is why when people meet people who are younger, because I have some friends who are 50 and they're like, you really wise for a 38-year-old, because I wasn't like this. Even when I think back, they always say, like, oh, our parents were more mature than us. I don't really think our parents were emotionally, spiritually more mature than us, okay? So if I was my mom, I would be on my third marriage right now, okay, at 38. So when I compare myself to my parents, yes, they had the house, they had the car, they had certain careers, but I would never want to be them. They were broken children who were married playing house. Okay, so a lot of times you think just because you see somebody owns a car, or you see that they own a house, or they got assets, they got certain things, that doesn't mean that they're mature emotionally, okay? That's why you see them a lot of times in toxic relationships and toxic marriages, and you think, oh yeah, my parents might have owned a home, but doesn't mean that they were mature, okay? Like, my mom had me at 32 on her second marriage. My mom had my brother at 19, well, at 20, got married at 19, had my brother at 20, and he's always been upset, and I'm like, you realize you're angry with a 19-year-old girl, okay? And I can still be upset with her because I went through certain things, but 32 is a much older, but even at 32, she wasn't healed, she wasn't mature, okay? So the difference between my 20s and my 30s, I have been the most, even though I'm going through a lot right now, I have been through the most in my 20s. My 20s, I can have a movie written on my life just based on my 20s alone, okay? Forget adolescence, forget being 5, 6 years old, being in my teens. My 20s alone would be a sellout 5-star movie, okay? I went through a whole lot of necessary and unnecessary issues and drama in my 20s. And would I take some of it back? I would take some of it back. I would. Because being that I wasn't healed yet, I put myself through unnecessary pain, relationships with people who I had no business being around or sleeping with, or whatever the case is. So yeah, there are some things, I don't want to say it's a regret, but I really wish that I knew about spiritual protection when I was in my 20s, than I know now. So I wrote a list, okay, of a couple of things. If y'all like this video, then I'll do a part 2, but I'm going to go down the list and tell you why I think, I wish I knew this in my 20s, or I wish I didn't do that in my 20s, and how my 30s is now. Okay, so realizing birds of a feather flock together. So the quote goes, birds of a feather flock together, right? And when I was in my 20s, I'd be like, no, that's not true. Not birds of a feather flock together, because I'm nothing like my friend. My friend's a hoe and I'm not a hoe. My friend sells drugs and I don't sell drugs. Okay. So it took me to my 30s to realize this is true. And a lot of you going to be like, oh no, I'm cutting this off. That's not true. Yes, it is true. So it not necessarily means that if your friend's a hoe, that means you're a hoe. Your friend's killing people, you're killing people. But you got to understand that eventually the people that you're hanging out with will rub off on you. Okay? Whether it's their way of thinking, their negative energy. I'm telling you, show me your top 3 friends and I will be able to tell you who you are. Okay? Emotionally, spiritually, if you have boundaries, if you love yourself. The people who you spend the most time with, okay? I'm not talking about coworkers. I'm talking about your friends that you're choosing. We don't pick out coworkers, okay? So don't be stupid. So I'm talking about people who you are choosing to spend most of your, you're going to dinner with them, you're hanging out with them, you're telling them your innermost, deepest, darkest secrets, or you're sharing with them, you're going on vacations with them, you're spending holidays with them. They know your family, you know their family. You know, these people who you're choosing to be around, you don't realize it, but you're entwining your energetic field with these individuals, okay? So I used to hang out with this girl who was a hoe, okay? And I wasn't a hoe, all right? Hey, if you a hoe, you a hoe. That's your business. I used to have that kind of attitude. You have to understand that deep down, I felt like that was okay behavior. I felt like that was cute. That was cute that, you know, the poetry bar we went to, she slept with half the niggas there. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language in this video. She slept with half the men there. Or you know, we hanging out and I say, oh, he's attractive. She go behind my back, she tries to sleep with him, but I'm like, okay, you know, no hoes over bros type of code. You know, you have to understand that this isn't cute. You may not be a hoe, or you may not be a killer, you may not be a drug dealer, you may not be a thief, but your friends are, and you that's letting the universe know you're okay with that behavior. You're okay that your friend is a hoe. You're okay that your friend is a drug dealer or a thief or whatever. It means you're okay with it, and that's cool. But don't act like that energy is not a part of you. It is a part of you. And what do you think happened eventually hanging out with this particular hoe? Everybody started coming to me thinking how she acts is how I am. So if I'm hanging out with her and his homeboy wants to talk to me, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I got a man, or I'm not looking for nothing. He'd be like, what are you talking about? Your girl get down like that. I know you get down like that. All right, and I have been in almost physical altercations with men because of that young lady. So be careful. You may be hanging out with your drug dealer friend and get your head popped off. You may be hanging out with your killer, your shooter friend, and get your head popped off. So be careful of the company you keep, because birds of a feather do flock together. You may not be doing the same actions, but deep down subconsciously, you're okay with that behavior. It is a part of you. You think it's okay. All right. So next is cutting off toxic family and friends and lovers. Man, let me tell you something. We're raised in society to feel like, oh no, that's your family, you can't cut them off. Yes, you can. I'm telling you, sometimes your biggest enemy is your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your grandmama, your grandpappy. Sometimes it's those people who are closest to you. Don't get me wrong, this is not easy. Sometimes you can kind of cut people off, like you don't mess with them, but you don't entirely cut them off, okay? There's some people who have narcissistic parents. They may take care of them, drop some groceries off to them, give them money when they need it, but they don't hang around them. So there's a way to do things where you can cut your family off and still kind of keep an eye on them if you feel morally, culturally, you feel you need to be there for your family. But yeah, I had to cut off my entire step family I grew up with. Keep in mind, I did not grow up with my biological father. I knew who he was. I saw him a couple of weekends out of the year when he wasn't drunk, when he wasn't high. So I really grew up with my stepfather's family. So that means summer vacations, I spent it with my stepfather's family in South Carolina. You know, Christmases and Thanksgivings, all those holidays, majority we spent it with my stepfather's family. Okay, so with that being said, my stepfather's family was more of my family, but I had to cut all of them off. I probably talked to about one or two people from that individual's family. If you go into my channel, you will learn my life story, to where I was molested by my stepfather. He used to beat on my mother, cheat on my mom. I saw a lot of things in the household, and it's sad where you had that Stockholm syndrome, where you're holding on to your abuser, you're holding on to toxic individuals, and it's okay. Don't It's not going to be easy. It definitely is not going to be easy to cut off toxic family members, lovers, but I'm telling you, it will impact your health as well. All right, taking on that adrenaline going into your body, and all the toxins that go into your body, dealing with toxic situations, abusive situations, you will begin to become physically ill. So even if you say, no, it's okay, I can take the abuse, eventually you're going to come up sick. Some people come up with cancer. Some people come up with just terminal illnesses because of all the toxins that they have been released into their body because of abuse. It's not just saving your sanity, but it's also saving your physical body health. Your physical breaks down, that's it. You're out of this world, okay? You can die from literally being around toxic family, lovers, and friends, okay? Healing. I wish I took my healing much seriously in my 20s. So a lot of the shit we have to heal from is from our childhood, okay? From birth, probably on 18, okay? So I wish I took my healing more seriously. I didn't take my healing seriously till about 28, 29, 30, around there, when I started cutting people off and researching what narcissism was, and just getting myself together spiritually, emotionally, and leaving behind the old me, okay? If you heal in your 20s, you're going to be good. I'm telling you, it's better to start your healing process in your 20s than it is to start it in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. It's never too late, but you're going to have a smoother 30s, a smoother 40s and 50s, 60s, and so on, if you take your healing process seriously. So healing process meaning you go to therapy. You admit to yourself your mistakes. You forgive yourself. You forgive the people who have done you wrong. You cut people off who are no good to you in your life. That is taking your healing process seriously, okay? I'm telling you, it is easier to heal. I wish I healed in my 20s. Instead, I put myself through a whole lot of crap in my 20s that I had to heal from in my 30s, okay? So it's taking me a decade, okay? It's taking me a decade to be the woman I am emotionally and spiritually today. And I'm still going through stuff, Not like I put myself in it, but I'm still going through things now that, but because I healed, I feel like I know how to go through it. You get what I'm trying to say? But if I was in my 20s, I'll be breaking down mentally. I'll be even more depressed than I am now if I didn't learn how to heal and deal with things that happen to us in our life, okay? Learning laws about property, annuities, life insurance, and wills. Let me tell you something, guys. See, some of you will never see a certain amount of money in your life. Some of you will not own property. Some of you won't I can't say, would not seek financial freedom, but a lot of us does, okay? So in my 30s, I inherited a home. In my 30s, my finances had increased. Things changed for me big time, okay, in my 30s. And I'm going through it now as well. I have legal issues now. Learn the law. Have your little stash away for a lawyer, or know somebody who can help you pro bono. Learn the law so you could be able to fight back. I'm having issues with like family members and stuff like that. And get a will, write a will, get it notarized, get people who you can trust with your assets, You know, if you can't trust anybody, get a lawyer, get it done legally, have a will, have life insurance. I don't even care if you have a life insurance policy that's $1,000. At least you can cremate yourself with that. You don't want people to have to go on GoFundMe and all that foolishness and ghetto-ness to bury you, okay? I want to be cremated, so I don't need nobody to be trying to give me a funeral. All right, I want to be cremated. I want everybody to wear white. I want everybody to just party and then rejoice my life. That's me. But some of you culturally, you want a funeral. Funerals cost a lot of money. Get a will, get a life insurance. If you work, go get it through your job and have them take out, even if it's $20, $50 out of your check, so that way you could be good. Make sure your children are good. When my mom died, my mom lied on her life insurance policy, okay? I was 23 when my mom died. I was a beneficiary. Her husband was a beneficiary. Unfortunately, my mother lied on her life insurance policy, so it got voided. She didn't tell the life insurance policy that she had cancer, when they have many life insurance policies out there that will cover illnesses. I didn't get anything. I had to sell everything, and I left with $1,000 in my pocket. I had to give away furniture. Okay, guys, these are the things that I went through in my 20s, and that's what I'm telling you now. Don't wait. You don't know how long your parents got, your children got, your spouse got. You don't know what to do. I was literally homeless for a whole year because I couldn't get a life insurance policy and live my life, okay? You know, even though it was a narcissistic situation with my grandmother, she did leave me a life insurance policy. She did leave me a home, you know, so I did get that when it came to my grandmother, thank God, you know. But a lot of y'all will never see a life insurance policy from your parents. You know what? If you're doing better than your parents, get it on them. Have them sign it, so that way when they go, you're good. Your grandkid, the grandkids are good. You know, we need to teach, especially people who are of color. We need to start teaching, and don't feel guilty for having. Some of us, you know, I used to feel guilty for having. A lot of times it's like people will prize having wealth and generational wealth, but then when they see other people have it, especially black people have it, they're like jealous. Forget the jealousy. Those are not your people, okay? Maybe you got to go get richer friends and smarter friends, okay? Lawyer friends, and be around people who is on your level spiritually, financially, and mentally, okay? I don't go around and telling people my business. That's another thing. Keep your business to yourself when it comes to your property, when it comes to your will, when it comes to certain things. They're not on that. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to keep it private because you don't want anybody trying to kill you for their money, do that. But learn about annuities. Learn about stocks and bonds and you know, property laws and life insurance. Please take this seriously in your 20s. If you have a career, if you have a job that got you, that has medical insurance, and you can definitely have life insurance, okay? Talk to your bank, get a banker, get a financial advisor. These are things that you should be doing and learning in your 20s. Don't wait till you're in your 30s like me. I didn't find out till I was about 31, 32 with a lot of these importances I just wasn't taking seriously, okay? Let's see. Ooh, the importance of herbs, vitamins, water, and sunlight. Okay, so I was late in the game. I'm not gonna say I was late in the game, but I knew about these things. Like growing up, my mom used to fast and take herbs and do all these different things and cleanses and stuff like that. But I was a kid. She wasn't doing that with me, but I was still watching her. So also, when you do these things, your children are watching you, and they're going to take up your habits. Just like if you are a person who eats junk food all the time, you know, you're drinking all the time, your children are going to pick up those habits. So yes, a lot of times unhealthy habits and eating, it does have to do with your children watching you. Some people say, oh, there's no such thing as fat people. It's just such thing as no discipline when it comes to health. I am an overweight person. Indeed, I've been overweight my whole life. My father was overweight. My mother wasn't. So I took on his DNA. But I eat better than my father has ever done. My dad was a drinker. My dad smoked weed. My dad did pills. My dad did cocaine. My dad did alcohol. And he died at 53 by a heart attack from just years and years of abusing his body, okay? As for me, I take herbs. I don't eat certain meat. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat poultry. And if I do, I might do it once in a blue. If I need poultry, if I feel like I need some chicken or something, I eat mostly veggie meat and fish and vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. And it's important. Back in 2015, something in my spirit, because I am a spiritual woman, so I do consult my ancestors and my spirit guides, my God. So I'm very spiritual, and that I'm very in tune spiritually. That's all I'm gonna say. So they told me to go on a fast. I went on a fast. I was not eating no meat at all. I was doing smoothies, vegetables. The next thing you know, 2016 came, and I had to get surgery on my uterus. Okay, so when you hear that intuition telling you to eat right, it's for a reason. So that prepped my body to where I was ready for surgery, and I healed much faster because I had been eating well for a whole year straight, just cleaning. I even lost 25 pounds back then because of it. A lot of times we'll revert back to eating junk food because it's comforting, or revert back to like eating the things that we grew up on. It's difficult. Like even me, I lost weight last year and I gained weight this year, you know. But I'm working on it. Don't beat yourself up. Do not beat yourself up. It happens. We're human, and we're gonna slip up sometimes, you know. As long as you get back on track, you should be good. Get that sunlight, especially my melanated people. Get sunlight in your 20s. Go to the beach, okay? The stamina you're going to have in your 20s, you're not going to have in your 30s. If you do, excellent. If you're a person who does, that's excellent. It means that you're working out. That means you're eating right. But if you're not eating right and exercising, you're definitely not going to feel the same in your 30s. It was like check engine light came on as soon as I hit 30. I can't drink. Like last Saturday for my birthday, I went to a Nigerian restaurant and they were giving us free shots. I had hookah. I was drinking Casamigos, guys. I had 3 drinks. I had Casamigos. Casamigos is tequila. It's really, really popular right now. And let me tell you, I felt it at 38. The next morning when I woke up on my 38th birthday, I was like, oh my God, my head. Keep in mind, I'm a drinker because everybody in my family was an alcoholic. So it's naturally in me to be able to handle alcohol. The spirit is within me, okay? No. I woke up, my knees hurting, my knees still hurting, my head was hurting. I had to drink so much water. I went to the spa the next day and I did not drink any juice. I drank water for hours. I kept going to the bathroom trying to pee all that alcohol out that I drank the night before. You can't drink and party and do that and eat certain things that you normally were eating when you were in your 20s. A lot of things that don't agree with my body. Definitely, I can't eat dairy like that. I can eat cheese, but like ice cream, no. Eggs, I don't eat eggs. Like, no, no, no. I had one little piece of my birthday cake because it's dairy. Like, I can't eat dairy like I did in my 20s. I don't drink milk. It'll just mess up my stomach, just put it that way, okay? So the things that you're going to be able to eat in your 20s, and I was like, why not? Why stop? You should stop in your 20s. Don't wait till your 30s until your body breaks down. All right, sunlight is important. They're trying to keep us in the house right now. As a melanated person, sunlight is important. Go to the beach if you can. Go to the park. Sit near the waterfronts, whatever you have in your city. If you don't live in a sunny city, travel if you got the money. Go to the next town. Go somewhere. Go to Florida. Go wherever you at. I don't know. You're in another country. Go to a sunny part of your country and get that sunlight. Sunlight is important, okay? Even if you're Caucasian, you still need that sun. It is information in the sun, okay? Especially when you're a melanated person, DNA, we need it. Don't listen to them talking about don't go outside. You need to go outside because we need to be able to get information from the sun. Research what I'm talking about when it comes to our DNA. Okay, ooh, this is gonna be a difficult one. I feel like this video is about to be so long, but I'm gonna try to speed it up. I might have to do a part 2. Casual sex is a fraud. So I saw this meme on Instagram that said casual sex was a fraud. So that's not my wording, but it's true. I believe so. So in my 20s, let me take a sip of wine on that one. In my 20s, right, I had a lot of sex. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I lost my virginity at 19, and basically I went like buck wild. Okay, I had a lot of sex in my 20s. I regret certain people. It was unnecessary sex. So when you're young, you're vibrant, you're feeling sexual. You know, I wasn't spiritually advanced at the time, so I didn't realize I was taking on all these. Now I wasn't sleeping with hundreds of people. I just want to put it out there. But I've had a couple of partners. Okay, I had a couple of partners. All right, in my lifetime. I just want to say that sex is spiritual. It's not to be played with, guys. I'm telling you, and especially as a woman. So the woman's womb is very sensitive, and a lot of people don't realize that. We intake. Men give and we intake. Okay, so if you're sleeping with a toxic man and he's sleeping with toxic women, all of that information and energy is stored into your womb. And this is why a lot of us have issues with fertility. I have issues with I don't want to say fertility because I haven't tried to have a baby yet. I've only tried to have a baby once when I was 23, when my mom was passing away, and I did not get pregnant. And then I tried a little bit last year. But one thing I would say is that all of that negative energy gets stored into your womb. Look up a woman called Queen Afu, okay? Queen Afu, her books are amazing. She's on Instagram. She's done many interviews about the womb and how to heal your womb. She does have an academy. It's expensive, but it's worth the money. I've actually met her in person, and she is a sweetheart. I just found out she's a Leo, and you know, learn about the energy of the womb, and how when we sleep with these negative men, we're intaking that. So all in my 20s, I'm sleeping with these fuck boys, okay? And I'm intaking all of that energy into my womb. So I started to miss periods. I developed PCOS. I got diagnosed at 21. I didn't take my health seriously back then. I was just like, whatever, I'm skipping periods, not realizing that that was not a good thing, okay? Thank God I did not get pregnant by a fuckboy in my 20s. And yes, take that very seriously. Some of you want to have children in your 20s, and that's a beautiful thing, but it is also okay to have children in your 30s, okay? I'm 38. I still want to have at least one child, and I would say my cutoff time is maybe about 41, 42. We'll see what happens. If I never have children, then it just wasn't meant for me to have children. But